Tonight we have current unified middleweight champion, females boxing, Franchon Crews, and hyphenated Dezurn, because she's hyphenated her husband's last name. Franchon Crews-Dezurn, current reigning unified middleweight champion, which means she has, what, I think, three of the belts out of the four?
Two.
Two of the four. That's what
Two. Two unified is two. Reigning is four.
Right.
So she's got two, somebody else has got two,
She's
and
coming
those two
through.
are going to make four, and we're going to see who and what and when and where can we watch their fight.
She's a
That's
very,
what we
she's a very interesting person, and let's get into it.
hey.
Welcome to the champ and the chump.
And who's the chump?
You.
Me. Welcome to our show, people. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hey,
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm alive.
You're a
Myself
little sideways. There you go. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Thanks for,
You
thanks for
a beautiful smile you got. Wow. I
Thank
didn't expect
you.
that. I didn't expect that. You're a boxer. We've been talking about you for the last 20 minutes, and the person I see and the person I watch is not the same.
Frank John, you have to forgive Jeremy. He's from the old school days of boxing. He's not politically correct.
It's okay.
What
That's what I'm
incorrect?
saying.
What incorrectly and critical?
You
Whatever.
gotta be, what do they call it these days? Woke? Can't say shit like that.
Woke.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We're in our
You
40s.
baby.
So. Um,
It's been
Hey,
a
well-
long day and it's doing too much. This is funny.
good.
Wait, huh?
Good.
How-
So me and Jeremy
Franchon.
know each other.
Shut up, white boy. Shut up. He's the chump. I'm the champ. I'm talking, man. So look, Miss, your name is Cruz, and is that your husband's last name? Dezurn.
Concern.
Dezurn.
Dezurn. I
Yeah.
couldn't hear you. And where do you guys live?
Dezurn.
Dezurn.
We live in Maryland.
Oh, Maryland, man. I thought you were from Baltimore, Maryland. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Hassan Rahman on the podcast. You know Hassan?
Not personally, but
Oh.
I know his kids and his the guy who discovered him.
Yeah, we all met up at Kevin Rooney's camp, me, Jeremy, and Hassan back in the '90s, a long time ago. That's how we all know each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
well, yeah, we've known Rock since he didn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Literally. Yeah, we saw him take his first amateur fight.
Oh, how did that go?
He
That was
lost,
good. It was good.
but he lost to the number one guy in the country.
Oh, I never did that. I was number one.
Oh, I know.
Ooh.
I know. So I wanted to ask you, speaking of that, you and Clarissa Shields fought each other on your first fight. And it was kind of odd to me because normally two decorated amateurs don't usually do that their first fight. Like, what made that happen?
Well, one, I was like at a crossroad. Was I going to go for 2020 Olympics? That's what I was going to do. And like 13 girls turned her down. And I was like, well, I know I'm about that life and she's about life. And my husband and I, we just was like, F it, YOLO. And I did it. Like, I just felt like it was like the universe moving me to do something else, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's cool.
I'm surprised she would do it too because, you know, you usually don't fight somebody with your experience and all that their first, you know, on both ends, you and her.
We talked about it before we actually took the fight. Like, we both was like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But as you could see, she's a very confident woman, just like myself. And I already kind of knew what I was walking into. If I didn't knock her out, I wasn't going to get the decision, you know? So with like 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks to train for, my goal was to win, of course, but just do my best that I could with the time and with the resources. And I think we put on a great show. It was more so for women's boxing and the way I looked at it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the sacrifice for women's boxing, and look where I'm at today. So I can't complain.
Yeah. That was a great fight, man. Really high skill level, and yeah, it was a great fight. So
Yeah, I'm competitor, so it's like I wasn't going in there to lose at all, but I just felt like I believe what I had coming into the fight. I think it was a great fight.
No, it was. It absolutely was. Yeah. Who trains you?
My husband is my 24/7 training partner, but I work out of Headbangers Gym with Barry Hunter and Boog, Patrice Harris, and my whole Headbanger team.
Yeah, Matt McCoy was telling me about the Headbanger Gym. I hadn't heard of it because I mean I stopped fighting a long time ago, and well, I'm in
You
New
know
York. With who?
Lamont Peterson?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the people who trained him.
Oh, well, that's good hands to be in. Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah, it's like us. My coaches have so much experience, and it's more like family now. So I trust them. Like we've been through some things, so
mm-hmm,
they're the shit.
I can imagine. Um,
What do you feel like is the next step for women's boxing and yourself as well?
Well, for me, I'm going for undisputed. That's what I want. That's what I'm manifesting. That's what I'm claiming. I think women's boxing is making great strides. You spoke about Clarissa. She's headlining an all women's pay-per-view card next month. You
oh,
have some other big fights like the rematch between Jessica and Cecilia coming up. And, even through the amateurs, they're starting to put on all female cards. So it's just a ripple effect. And over time, it's going to continue to grow.
yeah, for sure. Do you plan on rematching the one who did steroids? I forgot her name.
Yeah, we could keep forgetting that person. Next,
That was
one for
so.
undisputed.
Yeah, I mean, that was. So I was gonna ask. So your fight after her, I saw that it wasn't for any of the titles. How come? Because you still kept the titles because you cheated.
Yeah. Well, the fight I've had, like if you follow my pro career, it's a lot, and even since signing with Golden Boy, other than my first fight, it's been a lot. Like it's been difficult fights. I've had a difficult road my whole career.
Hmm.
So that was like one of the fights that I needed to like, especially after what I experienced in that fight that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to come. I needed to have something after a year layoff, just wet my feet. But I'm going full force. It's not like I duck work. It's not like I'm afraid. Like I only got 7 to 8 fights. So
Mm-hmm. So I feel like you won that fight anyway. Like I feel like you got robbed even though she cheated.
well, I mean, this game, amateur or pro, it's a lot of politics, and a fighter is, you being a fighter, any fighter would know. We know when we lost the fight, and in my heart, I didn't feel I lost the fight. Like immediately after the fight, I'm like, I want a rematch because I know I didn't lose that shit, and
Mm-hmm.
I got something else to prove. And
Mm-hmm.
skill wise, even like that was the first time I ever got hurt in a fight. And I
When you mean
think
how you mean you got buzzed?
the third or fourth round, I got caught with a shot, like a little short overhand. And I got a chin, like, trust me, I got a chin,
Mm-hmm.
but it really, like, I got hurt a little bit. I was buzzed up. And when I recovered, I think skill outdid will. And I showed, more skill than her. And I landed way more punches than her.
Did you feel those steroid punches? Like were they considerably harder than other things you felt?
Yeah, in the beginning. Like once it started wearing out, because if that's in your system, you're gonna sweat. And it was an intense fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the person had a stench about them. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because they deserve no
Yeah.
No,
attention.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
But it was a stench, number one. Number two, I know I can hit.
Uh-huh.
And I hit men, I hit women, and I was hitting that person with flush shots, and it wasn't doing anything in the beginning. I'm like, hold on, something is not right.
I saw an uppercut you landed that almost took her head off, and but she stayed up. Yeah, so I know what you're talking about.
And trust me, you could see my will is strong too, especially when I went, I got a strong will too,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been in this game for a long time, and you just know, like,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
what's a long time? What's a long time?
uh, almost 15 years.
Really? Wow.
I've been raised on the elite level, like from the amateurs and even to the pros. Like this is my life.
I don't know if you.
How old were you when you started? How old were you when you started boxing?
I was old enough. I was young.
She's not
not a
telling her
number.
age. She's not.
You
Oh,
know,
So
I
I don't
forget
know.
your name.
I don't know if you followed Jeremy at all, but Jeremy had like as an amateur, he had like 300 fights. He was a real elite amateur. He started when he was 6. Not everybody starts at 6, Jeremy. Not everybody.
No, I was saying.
you know,
I know, because women boxing, like to me, growing up, there was no women box.
Yeah.
No women in the gym.
if I'm correct, like they had, like our female pro pioneers, like that was like, our OGs.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the amateur system, like I don't think we were able to fight until like 2001 or
Yeah, MS
either.
seems about right.
Yeah.
Huh?
That seems about right. Like 1 or 2, something like that.
Like, Lord forgive me, but a brave young lady basically sued USA Boxing for the opportunity for women to have a national tournament too. So I came out around 2005. I won my first national in 2005.
Yeah, the first one that I can remember was Christy Martin. She was the very first I can remember. You remember? You know that is it.
I can go back before that. There's one lady came to my dad's gym. Her name was Lady Tiger. It was a black woman, and she had bald head, and
that's
she could
how
fight.
OG. Like she fasted, to fight for equal pay. Yeah, she was like going on a hunger strike to get more opportunities and more resources for women fighters because they what right.
Mm-hmm. So okay, when you say resources, like what? Like gyms, like trainers, like money, like
money, just opportunities. Same stuff we fight for today, but it was like a lot worse.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. But they have a hard enough time giving regular fighters, regular male fighters, money.
They don't. No, they don't.
Yes, they do. I've been in this business since I was 8. I trust me. Like if you're an average run-of-the-mill boxer, you ain't getting shit. You might train at night, fight on the weekends, but you work Monday through Friday.
I guess
that's fine. That's fine. But take a person with a stellar amateur career, like top tier amateur career, world titles in amateur, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You take a person like that, female, and then you take like a guy coming out straight out the Olympics. Do you think they're going to make, close to the same amount? Hell no.
No.
That girl huh?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm saying, yeah.
You look at Clarissa, you look at me, you look at a Katie Taylor, and I could say I'm in that standard. Like, only thing I didn't do in the amateurs was go to the Olympics. And if they had our weight class in the Olympics, I would have medaled. But you look at these girls, they're not getting $100,000 sign-on bonuses. That's like a top pay. Like when you first, that's like a top pay for a elite female athlete.
I will say, like, I know it's harder for females 100%, but even some men, I mean, the business, like we had Chris Bird on the show who won a silver medal in the Olympics, and he couldn't get signed when he turned pro.
Nobody.
Wanted, and he had a silver medal, and nobody wanted to sign him.
I was in the same boat. Like, I was in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Even after my performance with Clarissa, even after my resume, like these days, everybody's a 20-time national champ. Mm-hmm. And you guys know what were the tournaments that matter in the amateurs? The US Open, which established your ranking, your Golden Glove. You had your national pals. People talking about ringside, junior tournaments. Like, I didn't know. It's different now. You know what I'm saying? But my shit, if you Google, mine is in the history books, like major tournaments. So I had the same issue. Like I was self-managed and I promoted myself all the way until like 6 months ago. Like I won world titles promoting and managing myself.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And to even move into it's hard to do and move forward in a career because of just all boxing is a fucking business. It is not a sport.
And that's
once people
go ahead.
No, and people don't realize that for this game that we do, or this sport that this business that we do, if you are 1 to 2 fights away from being on Skid Row, no matter who you are.
And then it's so like coming up, like in our time or your time and my time, you know, talent spoke more for everything. But these days, with social media, like I was popping before social. And if you didn't know how to transition into that, you're gonna be lost in the sauce, because these days that's what it's mostly about. Like, you know, you can hit the pads real good, and people don't know that you be getting beat up in the gym, or you can't even really fight, but you'll blow up because you had a nice video of you hitting pads. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is we've all seen those guys or girls who look great on a bag, but when they get in the ring, it's a totally different story.
And nobody fact checks. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, you could say I'm sloppy, you could do whatever, but I know how to box. Like, I wouldn't have been as successful as I was in the amateur program or able to compete with the elites of the pros if I wasn't a skilled boxer. But you see some people, you're like, wow, how did you even get signed? What is this? Why? But I'm not.
How did you end up linking up with Golden Boy and getting signed with them?
Well, I actually, power move for me. I was signed to another promoter, but I said, look, I know my worth and I appreciate it. Thank you. No, thank you. And I was released. Then I actually retired. No, I was retired before that. I got signed. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me, this situation. And then I got an opportunity to fight for a world title. I came in on the B side. And I walked through the person and I won the title. So I was an unattached world champion, but people know my personality and they saw my skill. And actually, Bernard Hopkins was a big advocate for me.
Oh, okay.
And even Roberto Diaz from Golden Boy, like they really liked me because they didn't know what to do with me because I'm different. Like I have my own lane, but you know, she's got a belt and she's cool and she's marketable. So, hey, why not? So that's how I became the first Black female signed to Golden Boy and like the third female ever to sign to Golden Boy.
Oh, wow. So it was recent then, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2019?
Wow.
June 2019 or something like that.
Jeremy was on the Olympics team with Mosley and with De La Hoya, right, Jeremy?
Wow.
Yeah. That was a clear.
That's the only thing I didn't do, man. And kudos to you because it's not easy.
No, amateur boxing is such a fucking joke. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So many jokes.
It's a lot of politics, but actually fighting to get those opportunities is not. Like you really had to be fighting 3 to 4 to 5 times in a week. Then you're not only fighting the top people in your country, fighting the top people, which they had to fight the top people in their country to get to. So it's like, but
the amateur is a bunch of bullshit.
The rules you're referring
to. The rules are a bunch of bullshit.
I agree.
And I do too. Like when they change the systems and stuff, like that's how it makes me confident because I was able to stay successful through the change from the point system, the 10-point mercy system to the 5 judges. It was a lot. Like you could tell the changing in times, but that's why I'm good at the pros. I like the better.
No, when my last amateur fight was all around the ring, for all the judges had buttons.
Point system.
And they had to push the button at the same time that a punch landed.
3 judges had to push it at the same time for it to count. And half of them weren't paying attention. Half of them was not even going to give you points for you. So like crazy.
No body shots counted, nothing like that. I was like, this is bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And like the guy over there, he sees a body shot land or a headshot land, but the guy on this side, because he's the referee standing there, he don't see it.
So,
So
so
then,
for people listening who don't know, in amateurs, only the white part of the glove can land for it to be considered a point, and that punch can be the weakest bullshit jab, or it could be a knockdown. It's still 1 point.
Let
so
me
same
tell
thing.
you my experience that was, so I was a little bit of Women's History Month. I was on the first ever USA female Pan American team. Like we were only inducted in 2011. That's when we had Pan Am, like the real Pan Am team.
Hmm.
And I fought a defending world champion my first round. And I mauled her and mollywopped her.
I
And
never
I'm
heard
a
mollywopped, but that's
I put hands, right? Because
yeah.
I knew what was at stake. And if you look at, like, I believe in consistency. Like, people can change from fight to fight, but it's always going to be some consistency. And for me, I'm a high volume puncher. Like, I will always score at least 20 points my fight. I lost this fight 16-8. So it was like you meant to tell me for 4 rounds I could only land 2 punches when I'm the most active and I'm the one that's the aggressor. I'm the one landing shots, and all the other person do was jabs. And it was crazy.
When you fought, were any of the fights no headgear? Because I know they ended up
No,
doing.
this is still headgear. This is in 2011.
Oh.
20 Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
no, speaking of that, yeah. So what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah. What you got next?
That's all I want. Undisputed. I'm a unified world champion. I have the WBO and the WBC world titles. The other unified champion is Aline Setaru. She has the IBF and what's the other? Oh, WBA. And that's the fight for me. Like,
Wait.
that's the fight. Like, go ahead.
Sorry. Shields isn't in your weight class now?
Clarissa is 2 weights down right now. That girl is chasing her greatness. She's been undisputed at 160, so she has her fight March 5th, where she's going for undisputed at 154. And I like for me, like everyone's like, are you guys gonna rematch? For me, I'm on my own journey, and I feel like once again, women's boxing, because she's not afraid of me, I'm not afraid of her. For us to grow and for us to benefit, because yeah, we made a little, like for me, I made a couple dollars and she made a couple dollars at pro debut, but it's money on the table. And if I become undisputed, and with her being undisputed, they can't deny. So our goal is to continue to push the bar so it benefits us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
and
smart.
It raised the bar.
Yeah, that's smart. And you know that fight. That fight was really competitive too. So you know, it's you know what I mean. So people want to see it again.
Yeah, it was weird, and it was also fun. Like we both learned on the job. Like we both never fought without headgear. We probably had street fights, but it was an experience together, and you could see we both grew from it. So we're different fighters than before, truly.
Yeah.
So how many fights make a career for you? How many? I can't hear you.
Cutting out a little bit, Franchon.
Oh, I said, how many fights make a career for you?
I want to have children, but I still have personal goals too. So, I'm what am I, 7 or 8 fights in?
Yeah. You're 18.
Huh? I have one. I don't know. I don't think my career is defined by a number. I think it's the fight and just achievements for me. Like I said, I've done everything in the amateurs but the Olympics. I became a world champion as a pro. So right now it's just personal goals and creating a legacy. But I got a lot in me. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's see you around for a bit.
Matt told me that he didn't really elaborate much, but he said that you make your own gear, like gloves and headgear and stuff. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, I make boxing apparel. So I have my line, the Dezurn, which I'm revamping now. I've had like my stuff seen on DAZN, ESPN, Facebook, like almost all the major networks. I actually collaborated with Clarissa on 3 occasions. So if you look at her page, like, or Salida Promotions, or look at my story on Instagram, you'll see like a montage of her stuff, and I dressed her 3 times. When she first became undisputed at 160, I had the honor of making an Ali inspired gear for her. So, you know, it's growing. Yeah. And it no Showtime with my husband. He's fighting. We're actually in Kentucky for his fight tomorrow.
I say that again. You cut out a little bit.
I said we're actually, my husband, we're in Kentucky now for his fight, and he's been on Showtime a couple times. So my stuff has been on all the major fight networks.
What weight is he, and how many fights has he had?
And he's 12-2-1.
12-2. You cut out in the beginning. What weight is he?
You heard what I said. He's a bantamweight.
No, we didn't. No,
we didn't. It cut out.
You're actually cutting out a lot.
You said Bantam was at 19? Is that 19?
Nah, Bantam is 110?
No, hell no. 122.
122. Oh, right.
Your husband is 22? How much you walking around at?
Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all
that. He's old school. He doesn't know what he shouldn't be asking females or anybody.
She's a fighter, bro. She's a fighter.
That's true. You do get on the scale in front of everybody, so that's how that works.
They nickname me Big Mama, so
you're not big. You are not big. I don't think you're big at all.
I'm a thoroughbred. I'm a whole lot of woman.
So you fight at 60, so she's probably walking like 72, bro.
I fight 168.
Oh, you probably walking like 82, 84.
Something like that.
I also saw
Look at you all boxed out. Good guess.
Yeah, he knows.
Well, I've been doing this stuff since I was born.
Period.
Yeah, Jeremy was also on the Contender, right? You were working the corner in the Contender?
Yeah, I was a Contender for a few seasons.
Yeah, you were the corner.
But it was bullshit. Bunch of
they need to do a female Contender. That would be dope.
They should.
Like, that's what I'm trying to be a part of, like that kind of thing, so we can do mainstream things. If maybe a Contender type show, or like a reality show or something, like all of us in a house, or
I did that Contender, and that's a great idea for the female Contender. I'm gonna ask a couple of people I know, but I'm telling you, when you do that shit is all. I mean, living in that big ass house that we're in, and getting that stuff all together, it was, man. So you can know
from Team USA experience. Come on now, you want to?
Yeah, but I was on the team. I wasn't the coach of the team.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm out doing dirt. I was sneaking out at 10 o'clock trying to go to the disco or some shit.
That's how you know he's old. He called it a disco. Holy shit.
What are you supposed to call it?
Club?
Party?
I don't drink. So I'm not going to the club.
So I actually got a question. Do you and your husband spar?
That's my training partner.
So you do. And do you guys both go hard?
Hard enough. Like, if a normal person would see it, they'd be like, "Oh, are you okay? Blink twice. You need help with this." Like,
I'm curious.
Drag your ear.
I'm curious how he feels hitting his wife, because I don't think I could do that.
My husband, even though he's young, he is an old soul. Like, he's truly a student of the game. If you love boxing, you would enjoy talking to him, because he loves boxing, put it that way, and he does his homework. What I love and respect about him is he doesn't just see me as, oh, you're a girl boxer. Like, he keeps me honest, because he truly believes in women are fighters and they should be respected that way, in the same way men are respected. So what I would say is, he keeps me honest, but he does click sometimes, and like, he has to realize, okay, I'm a hard puncher and I'm very skilled. So he can't be in there pity pat with me because you know what I'm saying, I might hit him with something. He be like, hold up, bitch, hold up. and, and on the other hand, and he's very secure. So it's never like, oh, say if I catch him with something, he's like, oh, I can't get hit by a girl. Very secure. On the other hand, he might hit me with something and be like, oh, baby, you all right? You okay, big mama? So he has a good balance and we just bring the best out of each other. So it's really cool.
That's pretty cool. I like being
that. That's a great dynamic. My wife never boxed, but yeah, I was always curious about that. You know, what kind of dynamic that is. And do you ever?
Your wife will kick your ass.
It's weird. Yeah, I believe so. It's weird because we like are so in tune with each other. It's very weird. It's kind of deeper than boxing because we're very passionate about the sport and then we're passionate about each other. So it's just like really weird. Like,
wow.
But it's cool.
That's great. That's great. So I heard that I heard that you also sing pretty well too.
Yeah, a little something.
Oh, don't be modest. No, you were on was it American Idol?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was. Listen, I'm pretty sure Jeremy can agree. Everything isn't like what you see on TV. Like it's a lot of groundwork and a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like to even get on TV, you got to audition like with three sets of different judges, and it was different. It was a great experience, though.
How long have you been singing?
For a long time, since I was like 8.
Oh.
And it's just boxing took over, but I still have a love. That's my first love. Like that's the whole reason I started boxing.
Like a gospel singer or like a singer?
I'm just a singer. I'm self-taught. Like mostly everything I do, I'm self-taught.
You born and raised in Baltimore?
I'm originally from Virginia, but I've been in Baltimore like my whole childhood, adulthood. Like I moved up there when I was like 13. And check out what happened. They want some chicken. I'm sorry.
Who wants chicken?
Who wants some chicken?
My sister and Glenn.
Who is Glenn?
My husband.
Oh, got it.
My sister.
Wait, I thought he's gonna fight. He's gonna eat some chicken.
He made weight today, so everybody wants chicken, like, you know.
You better put some carbs in there, brother.
He just ate pasta and marinara and grilled chicken, but he wants more chicken.
So he weighed in. What was that? It's better. Was that 32? You said
22.
No, this one was at 25. This one's at 25.
Do you
25? Damn.
That's featherweight. Do you ever work his corner?
I'm working his corner. His last fight, I actually wrapped his hand, so it was my first time wrapping hands. But yeah, me and my assistant are working his corner tomorrow. This is like, it's a good show, a good platform, but it's a smaller show. But yeah, I work his corner. I'm there.
Wait, you and your sister are working the corner?
She's freezing up a lot.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
You're back.
Now we can. You and your sister are working the show?
My assistant.
Assistant.
Oh, your assistant. I thought you said sister. I'm like, what?
Yeah, she's like my.
She's like her sister. Yeah. So, why? I saw that you were an amateur for like almost 11 years. Why didn't you turn pro sooner?
Because there wasn't anything in the pros for women. And I felt like my work was more beneficial as an amateur because we just got into the 2012 Olympics and I was helping the amateur program grow. Like I said, I was going for 2020 Olympics, but you know, everything changed. Like especially with Clarissa and like all the other Olympic alumni going pros. Like, oh, okay.
How long did you have to stay out of the gym for the COVID?
Well, my gym was strict. Like you had to have a COVID test to go back to the gym. But like I said, I'm lucky my trainer partner lives with me. And my house, I have like a bag and I have some stuff down. So I still was like trying to work out. It was a little more difficult, but I stayed around.
Yeah, absolutely. What was that thing with? I guess you had a little back and forth. I think with Snoop Dogg because he said
Oh,
something.
he was trying to play me.
Yeah, but was he kidding, or you think he was serious? Like, truly?
I don't think the word he used, because he doesn't know me personally. I think he was just, the word was derogatory, and I know a lot of people know me and how I carry myself. And they was like, you can't talk, like, don't call Franchon that. Like, you can't talk about her like that.
What do you mind saying? What he said?
Huh?
What did he say? 'Cause I didn't read it.
I'm like, that whole hair or something. He called me a hoe about my hair because I had a little malfunction, but but it was just like, yo, like, you can't call me that. Like, chill.
Jeremy went to high school with Snoop because they're both from Long Beach, California.
Yeah, he better step his hands up before he talks sideways to me.
Yeah, Snoop is he's a really nice guy. He's just that's normal for him to talk shit and not have to pay the price.
It takes down, like I'm sure, even though he was aware, so I'll take that off to him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Snoop is a very cool guy.
He's cool, but with boxing, like, did you see Franchon? Did you see the Tyson Roy Jones fight?
Yeah.
And personally, like, people were like praising Snoop as an announcer, and I'm like, that's the last motherfucker that should have been announcing is him. He didn't know anything about boxing at all.
He gave us the comedic relief. It's 10 and 10, Glenn. Give me some. He was more like the comedic relief. Like, he was saying everything that everybody probably was thinking. Like,
I guess I just like he was also given like color comment. He was given like blow by blow, and it wasn't accurate. And it's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, but dude, he's probably high.
He was giving us world star commentary.
Yeah. What'd you say, Jeremy?
Right. Yeah, but dude, he's probably high, bro.
Oh,
probably high, sitting there doing shit.
Definitely high. Definitely high. That's a fact.
He was definitely saying everything people was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
So your husband's coming up. When's he fight? Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, hold on. It's media. It's Mao or something. Hello. I'm sorry. What you say, baby? I'm sorry.
Your husband's fighting Friday or Saturday?
Tomorrow.
Fight tomorrow, Friday. So people don't know. Friday, and he's got to get what? How many rounds fights does he have?
It's 6.
He's doing a 6. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So, we want to wish him champ. Want to wish him a good luck, and we hope that he fights hard like his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He brings home a W. Okay.
Yes, sir. Nothing less.
It was great talking to you. We appreciate you taking the time, and we'd love to have you back after you unify those titles.
Share chicken with y'all? Y'all kicking me out because I ain't share any chicken with y'all.
The chicken.
Oh, no,
I'm
want some fried chicken. Tired, but I really appreciate and enjoy that conversation. You guys are a mess, like in a good way.
Thank you. Yeah, when you unify those titles, we want you back, please.
I got you. 2 down, 2 to go. And Maddie One put me on with you guys, and he's a cool guy, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
For sure.
Pleasure talking with you.
Great talking.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.